Gananjana Shalakaya
Shalakaya
Chakshu Unmalatam Yena Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri Guru.
Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes to the shining torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances under his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Mm. So, in one of the main prayers to Nrsimhadev in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 5th canto, it's mentioned there that the devotee prays to Lord Nrsimhadev to, just as he ripped out the heart of the demon Hiranyakashipu with his nails and teeth that are as hard as thunderbolts, Vajra Naka, Vajra Damstra. So just as you, the devotee prays, just as you ripped out the demoniac heart of this demon, please rip out the demoniac desires from my heart. Demoniac desires to enjoy in this world, materialistic desires that we have, lust, greed, anger, envy, pride, so forth. May you please rip out those materialistic desires from my heart, just like you ripped out the heart of that demon. So in the same way, actually, Prabhupada is doing that by giving us this knowledge of like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, this knowledge is ripping out the ignorance out of our heart. And the ignorance is actually the root cause of all of our crazy speculations and materialistic ideas and desires. Or the root cause is ignorance, according to the Vedas. And Prabhupada is directly helping us to remove that ignorance by giving us this torch of knowledge. And we just read that, how the Lord in the heart in 10:10 and 10:11, how the Lord in the heart, through his mercy to a devotee who's sincerely serving him continually with love, then to that devotee, out of his mercy, he removes the ignorance from the heart of the devotee with the shining torch of knowledge. So just like the super soul is removing the ignorance by enlightening the devotee in the heart, and the spiritual master is externally, it's said, the spiritual master is the external manifestation of the super soul, and he's externally giving us the knowledge through his classes and the books and so forth, like that, is giving us the knowledge. And it's the same knowledge that Krishna is passing on the knowledge to Arjuna, and that knowledge has been passed down and it's coming through to succession. And this is the very important part, just to recap on last week. So we're reading from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. Text 12 and 13 was last week, 14 today. So this is these two verses is Arjuna's realization. After hearing so far, he's heard up to this point, 10 chapters, up to this point, what is his understanding? What is his realization? So that's mentioned here in these two verses. And for us, or for anyone that wants to understand Bhagavad Gita, we have to understand it through Arjuna. He's the first person to receive Bhagavad Gita. So we're coming after Arjuna, 5,000 years after. We want to understand Bhagavad Gita. We need to understand it following in the footsteps of Arjuna. And that principle is the disciplic succession, parampara. That someone has heard from Krishna, and then they have passed it on to someone else, they pass it on to someone else, like that, and it's coming down through time. And this is the way to understand rightly, to understand the truth. Otherwise, not possible to understand. There are so many other editions of Bhagavad Gita. but because they're not coming in the succession, then their presentation of Bhagavad Gita is not correct. And as Prabhupada's mentioned, those Bhagavad Gitas will take Krishna as an ordinary person.
But Prabhupada came there 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Like then when he interpreted this Bhagavad Gita as it is, what was 4,500 years that? What Bhagavad Gita people were following?
Well, there's four the succession still existing. Arjuna's one is not mentioned. So that one has been broken. It would seem. But it's not really broken, because we can still pick up the Bhagavad Gita 5,000 that was spoken, on the battle 5,000 years ago. We can pick that up, and we're hearing directly, for as good as hearing directly from Krishna Arjuna. So that we have that immediate link. We have that immediate link with Krishna and Arjuna when we pick up the Bhagavad Gita. We have that immediate link. But there's other ones mentioned, four that is still existing. It's called, we're in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And that succession is mentioned in the end of the introduction.
Yeah.
And it's got right from Krishna right down to Prabhupada. And that's mentioned near the end of the introduction there. So there's Prabhupada is the 32nd.
Yeah.
32nd link in the chain after Krishna. But there's three other ones remaining. The Rudra Sampradaya. So that's the Lord speaking to Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
And the main acharya there is Vishnu Swami. And then there's the Lakshmi Sampradaya or Sri Sampradaya. And the main acharya there is Ramanujacharya.
Yeah.
And then there's the Kumara Sampradaya from the four Kumaras, who were the initial disciples from the Lord. And their chief acharya is called Nimbarkacharya.
So they must have their Bhagavad Gita as well. Means will be the last 4,000 years. They must have their interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. These other sampradaya as well.
I haven't heard, but I would assume they do. And
I'm sure, because
they have slightly different ways they practice. Their sadhana, will be slightly different. Some emphasize more deity worship and fire sacrifices and so forth like that. But the common denominator is all of them except Vishnu, Narayan, Krishna as the supreme, like that. They are all Vaishnavas. Vaishnava means devotee of Vishnu or Krishna. So that's the common denominator. They all accept Krishna or Vishnu as a supreme personality of Godhead, like that. So this is the way to receive the knowledge and the succession. So if we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, and that's the main point of the section we're reading now, is we have to understand it following in Arjuna's footsteps. The way he understands Param Brahma, Param Dharma, in 12:13 mentioned, Param Brahma, that you are the supreme Brahman, you are the supreme person of Godhead. Param Dharma, you are the ultimate resting place, means the source of everything. And that's mentioned like in 10.8, where Krishna says, I am the source of the spiritual material world, so everything emanates from me. So that's, Arjuna's understood that you are the ultimate resting place or source of everything. Pavitram, Paramam, you are the supreme pure. Purusham, you are a person, but what kind of person? Shashvatam means eternal. You are an eternal person. God is not just a light. He's not just energy. He's a eternal person, not a temporary person like we're in a temporary body, not like that, but an eternal person. That's Divyam, means transcendental. He has a transcendental personality, not a material one, but a transcendental. He's made of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, Satchidananda. Adi Devam, he's the source of the demigods. Ajam, he has no birth. Vibhum, he's the greatest. And so that's Arjuna's realization. He's saying, not just I'm saying this, but all the great sages say this. And he gives examples like Deva Risir Narada, so that's Narada Muni, and then Asita, Devala, Vyasadeva, who compiled all the Vedas. And then he's saying Swayam Chaiva Brahmasime. Then you are also saying that. So Krishna is saying that he's the supreme person, and then all the sages are saying, and Arjuna is also saying. So it's all saying the same thing. There's no difference of opinion there. So we're coming now. If we're going to understand Bhagavad Gita, we need to have the same understanding, nothing different, same understanding. The way they are saying, the way they are understanding, we should try to understand same way. No mental speculation, no mental concoction, no fertile brain. We're not making up anything new. This is the old knowledge, Purana. This is the oldest knowledge, just being passed down, and we don't want to change anything like that. Otherwise, as the mention at the end of that purport of 12 and 13, the last paragraph, here Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these two verses. This is called the parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is in the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite so much evidence in Vedic literatures, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. And this is the evidence that these people are fools and rascals, as anyone that thinks Krishna is an ordinary person is an idiot. You know, it's just they're deluded by Maya, you know. But like that, like it's mentioned, despite so much evidence in Vedic literature, they stick to their obstinate conviction like that. So this is the problem. Even you can present to these people so much evidence that Krishna is God and that we're his servant, but no, they won't accept it. Why they won't accept it? We've explained it many times. Because of what? Why don't we accept? Why, even though it's so much scientific evidence, so much facts presented, why someone is not prepared to accept the facts or the truth? Why might that be?
It's got to be a couple of reasons. Like, as Prabhupada mentioned, that if somebody comes to Hare Krishna and then he drinks and eat meat and everything there, and you don't say stop eating and drinking, just say start chanting. When you start chanting, automatically that meat eating and intoxicating will vanish. So in the same thing, when it comes to the association for Hare Krishna, then you started to believing in that, what's in there, and you can read in there, and the Maya will go slowly vanish. Otherwise, Maya is so powerful, they don't let them believe that. So when they have a prasadam, they come to association, and then Maya will slowly, and with the grace of Krishna, Maya will vanish, and they can come and start believing that.
But they are so tightly controlled by Maya.
But once they come
because of what? You know, why Maya is stopping them from understanding the right way. Why is that? There's a reason. There's something in them. There's something in the non-devotees that is causing Maya to cover over our intelligence. What is that? What is in us?
I mean,
that's
like we are
taking away our knowledge. And not letting us understand the right thing.
That's the thing. If you surrender to Krishna, Krishna will give you knowledge to understand Bhagavad Gita. They're not surrendered to Krishna, so they didn't get the knowledge. So once you surrender,
but then the question is why they won't? Even though, like it's mentioned, even though you present them with the evidence, but they still won't surrender. So why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, look at 727.
Okay.
7th chapter, text 27. In English, we use the word stubborn obstinacy. Stubborn obstinacy.
O scion of Bharata, O conqueror, for all living entity are born into delusion, bewildered by duality, arisen from desire and hate.
Yeah, so that's why, because if in our hearts we have a desire, what's the desire? To be God. We have a desire to be God. And what's the hate? Then we hate Krishna because he is God. He's got the position we want. You know, if we're attracted to a position that someone else occupies, we'll try to remove that person so we can occupy that space.
But if somebody comes that with like no knowledge whatsoever, and he got all these that duality in his mind, if he start coming to Bhakti tree, coming to temple, having a prasadam, do a little bit of service, then his duality will vanish, and he started understanding and believing the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. Yes.
Even he's an atheist, he doesn't believe at all. He's full of dualities.
But the problem is, like mentioned back to 10:12 again.
Yeah.
In the purport there. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education. So if they're proud, they might not even take prasadam. They might not even come to the temple. They might not even want to come to the restaurant. They don't even want to hear from the devotees because they're proud. So this is there's so many obstacles for someone to take to bhakti.
So
they want to be God, they're envious of God, and they're proud of their position, thinking they're so great.
How do you cut that proud? How do you cut that proud? How do you cut it?
Yeah, Maya does that through kicking us in the bum, through suffering.
Okay. Then they will.
Like you get in a car accident, you get cancer, your family member dies, so many things. Like you lose your job. There's so many ways. Maya is just cutting us down. They're breaking down that pride.
Yes.
Like that. Smashing that false ego and that pride, like that. And then when you become humble, due to that suffering, we become humble, then you take prasad, and then you'll go to Bhakti tree, then you'll go to the temple, then you'll accept Bhagavad Gita.
It's mentioned that 4 kind of people comes here. The Krishna consciousness, that's 4
in distress, so you can look at that. 7, I think that's 7:16 or something. 7, so similar area to where we were just looking. 7:16 or 17.
16. 16. Oh, best.
Distress. So the first one mentioned.
That's right. 4 kind of the pious men being to the render devoted service unto me. That's distress, desire of wealth, inquisitive, and then who's searching. Which one you? You're the 4th one?
It definitely wasn't desiring wealth. There's definitely not that one. I would say
mixture of 3rd and 4th.
No, a mixture of definitely distress was there because I was a complete materialist. A complete materialist, and then definitely inquisitive, and you're searching for so 3 out of the 4.
3 out of the 4. Okay. I was the first one.
I wouldn't say very pious.
But like
one time it's mentioned there. If you look at 7:28. 7:28. You can read that, and then I'll discuss that.
Person who had acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
So this explains the qualifications required in order to take up devotional service. And it's saying, you have to be pious in previous lives in this life, and all the sinful reactions are gone. And then a disciple said to Prabhupada, so it says you have to be pious to take the devotional service, but it looks like most of your disciples, we were impious before, we were sinful before. So how is it possible that we were able to take the devotional service, even though immediately prior we were sinful and not pious at all? Prabhupada said, I created your piety. And that means what's that? That's mercy. That's mercy from the pure devotee. Can make even a sinful, impious person, qualified to take the devotional service. Because ordinarily you have to be pious before. But it's a special mercy on us that even though we might have been eating McDonald's the week before and drinking, then suddenly we're chanting 16 rounds. It's a miracle, actually. It's completely a miracle. Because it's like a million light years apart and one activity to the other. So that's Prabhupada's mercy that he can elevate people.
If the pure devotees association makes that elevated quicker.
Yeah. I heard this amazing quote from Prabhupada. I heard it a long time ago, and then I sort of forgot it. Now I remembered again when I heard it, saying that a disciple came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, it says in your book, one of your books, that you have to be initiated to go back to Godhead. Means in disciplic succession. Initiated means you have a guru that's in disciplic succession, right? So what he was saying is that he'd read that you have to be initiated, means connected in disciplic succession, to go back to Godhead. So he was wanting clarification from Prabhupada. So that then he said, so we're distributing millions of your books to people. That so many people, millions of people are getting your books. But most of those people are not going to get initiated by you. So does that mean they're not going to go back to Godhead? Millions of people reading his books, and they're not going to get initiated, most of them. So he said, does that mean they're not going to go back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, no. He said, anyone who reads my books is initiated. That's far out.
Yes.
Prabhupada said, anyone that reads my books is initiated. So how do we understand that? That actually, anyone that gets one of Prabhupada's books and opens up and reads anything from it, Prabhupada is acting as their spiritual master. He's giving the knowledge, right? So what is a spiritual master? Is that person that's giving you knowledge. It's giving knowledge to a person. It's awakening the transcendental knowledge in the heart of the person. So anyone that's doing that is, technically speaking, is a spiritual master. So that's actually a fact. What Prabhupada's saying is not a lie. That anyone that gets his books, they are initiated. The word initiate means beginning. Like when you first started your Gloria Jeans franchise, that's the initiation point when you started it. That's not, initiation means just the beginning. It's not the end, but it's you've begun that particular path. So in one sense, anyone that picks up one of Prabhupada's books and reads some of it, that's the beginning of their journey coming back to Godhead. It doesn't mean they're going to go back to Godhead tomorrow, but they've begun the path to go back to Godhead. So that's initiation. It's not the end of the story, but it's the beginning of the story, a good story. Their life of piety has begun, and of going onwards and upwards. So sooner or later, that person will be able to go back to Godhead. And it started from that moment they came in contact with the pure devotee. And there's two ways of contacting a pure devotee. It's called Vapu and Vani. So Vapu means their physical body. You're coming in contact with the manifest physical form of the spiritual master while he's, alive, so to speak, in this world. And the other one's Vani. That means coming in contact with the instructions of that spiritual master. And of the two, which is better? It's said Vani is better. That connecting with the instructions of the words of the spiritual master is better than the Vapu. Why? Any idea why? Why is the connecting with the instructions of the person better than just the physical person?
I don't know.
How much access do you have to the physical person, and how much access do you have to the instructions? Which is more?
Instructions.
Instructions, like you got the book on your shelf,
Yeah.
you can read it 24/7. Even if Prabhupada was physically here, how much time can you spend with him?
Very rarely, because he's traveled all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
One time a disciple said to Prabhupada, I always want to be under your lotus feet. And Prabhupada said, that's very difficult because I'm always moving.
Not possible. Yes, that's right. Not possible. Difficult.
So yeah, it's actually the instructions are the best. The instructions are the best.
But it's
Prabhupada said my books, he said, are my emotional ecstasies.
It's bhav. It's a disciple course says that the living guru, you have to have that. Why did they say like that? In the living guru, like, if you have the trouble or difficulty, you can at least talk to them. But Prabhupada, I can't talk to the Prabhupada.
No, that's definitely helpful. But like I'm saying, that's initiating, means beginning, but it's not the end.
Yeah.
But that set you on the path. Then you want to take help from devotees who are living to give you some guidance. Like you have questions you need to ask, they'll give you some answer. But it's that Prabhupada has started you off. And then you'll want to continue. So you want to become more serious about it. Oh, I really like what I read there. I want to become Krishna conscious. How can I do it? So then I don't understand this. Let me ask a devotee like that. But the point is that anyone that's read Prabhupada's books, in one sense, is already initiated. Does that mean you don't have to get a formal initiation? You still can. It's definitely not wrong. It's definitely not bad like that. But and going by what Prabhupada said, you don't actually need a formal physical initiation because he has already done it. Just by reading the book, you've already started to chant 16 rounds. You already started to follow the four related principles like that. But then you can like I say, take help from other devotees to, answer your questions and so forth like that. But yeah, I take what Prabhupada said as the truth like that. That there's millions of people on the planet that have got his books, but they're not formally initiated. But Prabhupada's already initiated them. Many of them are already, there's many examples of persons, like one book distributor went door to door and saw there was a little temple in the house and saw there was Prabhupada's books in the house and everything. And talking with them, found out that many years ago they received some of Prabhupada's books, and they immediately, reading the books, immediately started chanting 16 rounds, following the four related principles. And they've been practicing on their own for many, many years like that, very seriously and without any association from physical like that. Now even myself, now I'm basically alone. My wife is here most of the time, but it's just me and her, and we don't have any devotee association physically. We don't have any around. But yeah, we're going on with our Krishna consciousness like that. We're following whatever they're following in the temple, we follow here like that. The 16 rounds, four related principles, everything like that. Offer our food and everything. So yeah, it's a very powerful process, and it doesn't depend on just some physical form. However, Prabhupada also said, while the spiritual master is physically present, then we should try to associate with them and like that. So like if some devotee came near to us, then we should try to get their association. That's very good. It would be wrong to just avoid them. not make an effort like that. If someone's coming close, and then, yeah, take advantage of their association like that. But the process is very powerful. Even through this Vani process, just by receiving instructions, like from the book or some, on the internet, you can listen to Prabhupada's classes or whatever. That's I mean, I have this amazing thing and just turn it on, and you can just hear Prabhupada's voice. And that's Prabhupada's Vani, and I listen to it every day. I listen to it every day like that. So yeah, that really opens up the process, because if it's just everyone has to be connected with a physical spiritual master, that really restricts things a lot, because there's not many of them, and they're even like Agni Dev. I don't know if you heard, but one of Prabhupada's disciples, Agni Dev, he just passed away 2 days ago, like that. And every day they're just the physical form is just departing. There's going to be very few Prabhupada disciples left, and within the next few years, there's going to be hardly any left. So, but this, through the Vani, you can really spread Krishna consciousness, very powerfully without any limitations. Without any limitations. As amazing, even in Prabhupada's own life, he met his guru physically for a very short time in 1922. And just a very few words were spoken, and then but he was inspired from that first meeting, and he didn't formally get initiated by his guru until 1936. So that was 14 years until he got formally initiated. So then the question is, and when did he get initiated? Did he get initiated in 1922? Or did he get initiated when he had the ceremony in 1936? Actually, Prabhupada said the initiation took place in 1922. It means that just that brief meeting with the guru planted the seed in his heart. And then that sprouted right then in 1922. So Prabhupada said the initiation took place in 1922, even though the formal ceremony was in 1936. Does that make sense? As soon as you get the idea to practice and awaken your Krishna consciousness, that's the beginning. You've begun from there. It doesn't wait for any ceremony or anything like that. So yeah, that's very powerful. This is the power of disciplic succession. Okay, so let's look at this next one, 10:14 today.
Yep.
Can read the verse. Sarvam metadritam manye.
Sarvam vitamitam yanme.
Yanmam vadasi Keshava.
Yanmam vadasi Keshava.
Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim.
Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim.
Vidur Deva Nadanavaha.
Vidur Deva Nadanava. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality.
Amazing.
Yes.
So this is the secret of understanding Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
What is the secret? That statement that's the secret. I totally accept as truth all that you have told me.
Yeah.
And this is not easy because, people, a lot of us in the material world, we're rebellious. We're not submissive. We're not submissive to an authority. When the authority says something, we don't just accept it as truth immediately. But this is Arjuna's shining, good quality, that he's just has so much faith in Krishna's words. He has so much faith in Krishna's words, and he just accepts what Krishna says like that as truth. So this is the way to understand Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada wrote one beautiful poem, two beautiful poems on the boat from India to America in 1965. One of them he wrote on the boat, and one of them when he arrived in America on the ship. So I'll just read a little part from that. Because it's very instructive in regards to this, just having faith in what the authority says. So this is the last part of this second poem that he sung when he was in Boston Harbor in 18th of September 1965. It says, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. So, this poem is he wrote to Krishna. He wrote it as a prayer to Krishna. He wrote it as to Krishna. But this is Prabhupada's special quality, that he had faith that the holy name is Krishna. And he had faith in the words of his spiritual master. I mean, why did he even get on the boat? Because he had faith that when his spiritual master said, you're an intelligent young man, I want you to go to the West and spread the message of Lord Chaitanya in English. So that was the mission that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave Prabhupada in 1922. Of course, it took him until 1965, like that, 43 years to actually carry it out. But he actually had faith in that right from 1922. But he just got married and he had young kids, he had a job, he couldn't do it. But he still had that faith in his heart that this was his mission in life, to go to the West and spread the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English. So when people would glorify Prabhupada, that you wrote so many books, you made so many temples, and they gave him credit for so many things, Prabhupada said, I don't accept that. That's all the mercy of my spiritual master, that we have all these temples and disciples and all these books and everything like that. He said, if you want to give me credit, I'll only accept one credit. He said, I didn't deviate from the instructions of my spiritual master by 1 inch. I just strictly followed my spiritual master's instructions. He said, if you want to give me credit, I'll take that credit, that I didn't go left or right, deviate from my guru's instructions like that. So this is faith, and that's like Arjuna. Any genuine devotee, that quality will be there. Just very strong faith in their spiritual master, who is a representative of God. So the same thing. If you say faith in God, faith in the spiritual master, it's the same faith, because the guru is just a representative of God. But to have faith in those words, that is so important. If we don't believe in these words, then it's going to be hard to progress. If you don't believe, if you don't have faith, if you're not sure, if you have doubts of, is Krishna really God, or maybe he's not God, or am I a soul or not a soul, or am I really going to live on after the body dies, or maybe I won't, or that means still we have some doubts, and then it's going to be hard to really progress very quickly. It'll be more slow. But that's still not the end of the story, because it's sort of natural that we have doubts. But the more we hear from the spiritual master and Krishna, then with getting this knowledge, then slowly all these doubts are taken away. Where do doubts come from? Why do we have doubts? Because of
duality
and ignorance. Yeah,
ignorance.
because of ignorance. What does a doubt mean? Doubt mean what? If you have a doubt, what does that mean? You don't know.
Yeah.
You know, how do I get to Cairns from Newcastle? Do I turn left or right? If you don't know, then that means, you know, if you have any doubt, that means you're just ignorant. If you don't have a doubt, it means you know you've got to turn left. You're going to go up north. You're not going to go south, is going to take you to Sydney. You know, so if you have any doubt, it means you just don't have the knowledge. You're just ignorant. But when you know that you turn left to go to Cairns, that means there's no doubts. There's no doubts. You have the knowledge, you know.
Yeah.
You know things as they are, like that. So this in the beginning, of course, we're seeing that with Arjuna. In the beginning, he had so many doubts. He had so many doubts. He had doubts about whether he should fight or not.
Yeah.
He had so many doubts, you know, he had so many doubts. He had doubts that, you know, if he did what Krishna said and fought, that would he, you know, suffer from sinful reactions of killing people and so many things.
And can you
There's
imagine
so many
that
doubts.
if he doesn't have a doubt, there won't be any Bhagavad Gita.
I know.
If he say, okay, Krishna says, okay, fight, I'll fight. There won't be any Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because it's actually mentioned that actually Arjuna's nature is, as a pure devotee, he doesn't have these doubts. So why does he seem to have doubts? That was Krishna's plan, to put all these doubts there, to use Arjuna as his instrument with doubts, so that we could clear our doubts, because we're the ones that have doubts, and that these would be cleared off. And I just like to bring up the one I think we looked at this last week, but it's a really beautiful verse. So right at the end, 18th chapter, text 73. Right at the end, 1873.
Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I'm now firm and free from doubt and prepared to act according to your instructions.
This verse is awesome. We can progress so much if we understand this.
Yeah.
So he had doubts, but now he's saying, now I'm free from doubt. And now that all the ignorance is gone, now I'm prepared to act according to your order, to your instructions. Karishe vachanam tava. And what does it mean? I regain my memory. What, did he have some kind of amnesia or something? But what does it mean, regain my memory? Means memory of what? That Krishna's God and we're his servant. I'm a soul. And what is a soul? Is an eternal servant of God. And God is telling me something, I have to do it. That's my job description. As part and parcel, because we're part and parcel of God, then our position, our constitutional position, is to do what he wants. Well, what's the function of a servant? It's only one.
To serve the God, serve the master.
To serve the master. If the master says, clean the floor, you clean the floor. If he says clean the toilet, you clean the toilet. If he says sing a song, you sing a song. If he says cook lunch, you cook lunch. So the servant's position is to do whatever the master says. So he's regained that memory that I don't have my main duty is to Krishna, not to my wife, not to the government, not to Tom, Dick, and Harry, not to the demigods or the forefathers, the ancestors, and everyone, because everyone thinks I have so many duties. But actually, when you regain your memory, you realize that my ultimate duty is to do what Krishna wants. That means you've regained your memory at that point. If we're still thinking I have a duty to my family and the society and everything first. That's the first important. Krishna comes last or whatever. That means you haven't got your memory back yet. Means we're still acting as the body. We're still thinking I'm Indian, I'm a Kiwi, I'm a Aussie, I'm a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, or whatever. We still have these bodily designations, and we're thinking my duty is to the family of this body, to the society of this body.
When we die, or I died, or any Muslim die, or any Christian will die, or any Jewish will die,
Yeah.
once they go up there, wherever the kingdom of God or things like that, when you reach there, do they ask here which background and religion you're from?
They're going to ask. Who's going to ask?
Do they, like whoever, when we go up there, like we believe in the, Krishna and the Jewish or Muslim or Christian, they definitely, when they died and they go to the kingdom of the God, do the God ask?
No, they're not.
So that doesn't matter. Nobody asks, like when even Muslim or Christian or anyone died, or you or me. So when we go up there, according to your, what have you done based on your karma, and then they
so that
don't really,
Yamaraj and that will, he knows everything. He's
knows
omniscient
everything.
about all of our good karma, bad karma.
Bad karma. So if Muslim or Christian or Jewish died, or I died, and then based on the karma, they decide what to get what. So they don't really matter, like whether me died or some Christian or Muslim or anyone died. Like, they decide based on karma, or do they say, oh, you practice
Well, I mean,
Hindu?
you can't enter into Vaikuntha, which means the spiritual world, the kingdom of God, without definite knowledge of Narayan or Krishna. If you don't know Narayan or Krishna when you die, it means you have to come back to the material world. You're still going to be back in the material world. And if you're a pious Christian or a Hindu or Muslim or whatever like that, then you might get a better birth. You might definitely probably get maybe another human birth. And then until the point comes when you become conscious of Narayan or Krishna like that, then definitely you'll have to come back. So it's not that all the Christians and Muslims and that are going to go back to Godhead. But yeah, I mean, if a Christian or whatever genuinely has love for God, they may be put into a situation where they can take up the Vaishnava path in the next life and get more definite knowledge. Because you actually need to, I mean, it's good saying you love God, but then who is God? I mean, how can you really love someone you don't know who they are?
But then Christian might say the same thing, Gulshan, if you died, you probably go up there, and then if you did a good pious activities in this, so next life you're born in the Christian family, and then you will continue your practice to the Christianity. Or Muslims say the same thing.
Everyone can say that, but there's only one truth.
Yes,
so anyone can say that if you do your Hare Krishna things nicely, if you're lucky, you can take birth as a Christian or you can take birth as a Muslim. But that's not true. But this is true, that if you're a good Christian or a good Muslim or whatever, if you're lucky, you can take birth as in a Vaishnav with a Vaishnav consciousness in your next life. But of course, they're not going to accept that. We know they're not going to accept that unless they're amazingly humble.
Like the way we don't accept it, so they don't accept either.
Yeah, but so no one accepts anyone else, but that doesn't matter because we accept what Krishna says. That's the point here.
That's right.
Like Arjuna's saying, I accept whatever you say in toto, means fully in truth, like that. So this is the secret. And this in 10:13. Savamitad Ritam Manye. Whatever you say, I accept that in truth.
Yeah.
And this is Krishna consciousness.
That's right.
I totally accept.
Yeah.
I totally accept all that you have told me. Not only also some of what you told me. And this is what most religious people do. I like this part of the Bible, but I don't like this part. Like I don't like the part where it says thou shalt not kill, but I like the part where it says Jesus is the only way and the truth and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through me. So you can't be selective about it. I like this part of the Bhagavad Gita, but I don't like this part. I like this part of this scripture, but I don't like this. He's saying, I accept all of it. Whatever you say, I accept. This is surrender. Otherwise, if you just take bits that you like and leave the bits you don't like, that's not surrender.
No.
No, so
you pick and choose with your own
pick and choose. Yeah.
You can't do that.
That means you haven't really regained your memory yet. Because the
like
memory, remember, is that we're the servant.
the
servant has to do everything that the master says.
It's like whatever your father is. Oh, I like you in these things in your habit. I don't like this habit, so you're my half a father. You can't say like that.
That's right. Yeah.
If it's your father. That's it. And
no,
that's
just full surrender.
Stop. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to read the purport? Or
yeah, let's do that. Oh, and the other thing we should say, neither the demigods or demons, oh Lord, can understand your personality. So I mean, it's a little bit understandable where it's saying the demons can't understand who Krishna is, but why does it say the demigods also can't understand? Because the demigods also are in a materialistic designation. That Indra is thinking, I am the king of heaven and so forth like that. That they're all thinking they're a controller of some part of the material universe like that, and they're pious, no doubt. I mean, they're not meat eaters and drunkards and so forth like that. But still, that doesn't necessarily qualify them for understanding Krishna consciousness. And we know that for a fact from Krishna's pastimes. Can you think of any examples that show from Krishna's pastimes that where demigods showed that they didn't understand who Krishna is?
That one was Indra.
Yeah.
It's because he did not know Krishna as a god. He was put in the rain.
Yeah, so he actually, so much that he didn't understand that he tried to kill Krishna. And not only kill Krishna, but kill all the devotees. He tried to pour the rain and kill all the cows and kill all the Vrajvasis and he just wanted to kill everyone. Because he wasn't just putting on a few spits of rain. These clouds filled up the whole area, drowned out all the land. He tried to kill them.
He wasn't demon. He wasn't demon.
But his behavior was demoniac.
Yeah.
If you're trying to kill Krishna's devotees and cows, is that pious or demoniac? That's demoniac.
Yes.
Demoniac.
So
if you're proud, is that divine or demoniac?
If you're proud, it's the demoniac. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can read that. 16th chapter. 16th chapter is divine and demoniac. 16th chapter. So look at text 4.
Yeah.
This is describing demoniac. Text 4.
Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belongs to those of demoniac nature, O son of Partha. So would
you say Indra was behaving in this way?
Yes, he was.
He was. So he's a demigod, but still he can be affected by demoniac qualities.
If any of the devotee has got these qualities, so he's not a devotee.
At that particular time.
Yes.
So it's not fixed. You could be a divine in the morning when you go to the temple and you chant 16 rounds and you're doing some service or whatever. But if you go outside and then just become very arrogant and proud and ignorant or whatever like that, then you're acting in a demoniac way. So it's not fixed.
Yeah.
It's a bit fluid. It can be changed. I mean, at heart, he is a devotee. At heart, Indra is a devotee, and that's why he has the position of Indra at heart. But he can still be influenced by Maya and act in demoniac ways. Yeah. So, and obviously Krishna wasn't happy with that, so he wanted to cut down his pride. So how did he do that? He lifted Govardhan. He lifted Govardhan Hill.
Sometime of the life you do get angry. Like do you think your entire life of 50 years you're never angry? I mean, everybody get angry sometimes.
I'm not saying that I'm free from
so
Maya. We do get influenced by Maya.
It says that are angry as well. So anyone can be angry in a scene, like,
But it's not so simple, because the real thing also, why are you angry?
Why are you angry?
Like Hanuman became angry, but Hanuman became angry also.
Yeah.
But he was glorified because of that.
Yeah.
Because why was he angry?
If he's protecting a temple and then somebody tried to steal the deity and you get angry, so that's approved. Like,
so that's not demoniac, that's divine.
That's not demoniac.
Ravana took Lord Ram's wife, so he's angry at that. So that's good. That's not bad. That's
any reason to be get angry.
Yeah. But if you get angry like Indra did, Indra got angry. Why? Because his position was not being respected.
Yes.
Because Krishna told his father, Nanda Maharaj, that there's no need to worship Indra. You just worship the cows in Govardhan Hill. So Indra was upset. He became angry because they're not respecting me anymore. They're not worshipping me anymore. So he became angry. So that's material. That's a material thing. But Hanuman became angry because he loved Ram so much, and Ram's unhappy because his wife is taken away. So that's spiritual. So his anger was spiritual, whereas Indra's anger was material, because it was based on him not being respected. And Krishna smashed that pride by lifting the Govardhan Hill. And after 7 days, he figured it out that, oh my God, this boy Krishna is actually God. I better apologize. So then he stopped the rain, and he fell down at Krishna's feet, and he offered prayers, like, I'm really sorry, like that. And then Krishna forgave him. And the other one that didn't understand, is even more greater, is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma didn't understand, because he was trying to test whether actually is this Krishna person God or not. So he took away all Krishna's boys, his friends, and the calves for 1 year. He took them away for 1 year. And Krishna, he was thinking, how am I going to go back to Vrindavan without all my mates and all the calves? What are all the Brajvasis going to say? So he expanded himself into replica calves and cowherd boys for 1 year, like that. And then they were returned. But then, so Lord Brahma also revealed that he didn't know who Krishna was either until after 1 year. Then he figured it out. And then once again, he bowed down to Krishna and offered prayers. I'm sorry, I did that. I doubted you, and I had doubts and everything like that. So we can see it's true that even great demigods also may not understand who Krishna is.
That's why this is the devas know the demigods. Yeah, demigods know the demons.
Yeah. So you can read the purport now.
Arjuna herein confirmed that person of the faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigods. So what to speak of so-called scholars of the modern world? By the grace of Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood that Supreme Truth is Krishna, and that he is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita. As described in 4th chapter, the Parampara system of the disciplic succession for the understanding of Bhagavad Gita was lost, and therefore Krishna re-established that disciplic succession with Arjuna because he considered Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in our introduction to Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood in parampara system. When the parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to rejuvenate it. The acceptance by Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated.
Yeah.
Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Emulated means like copied or repeated like that. So we have to copy or follow, which means emulate Arjuna. So it's mentioning in the beginning, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood the supreme truth is Krishna and that he is the perfect one. So Arjuna got the grace means mercy. So, by the mercy of God, we can understand God. You can only understand God by his mercy, by his grace. But is it like some chance, like a roll of the dice, a fluke that someone gets the mercy and someone doesn't? It means like then is the Lord partial, that he gives someone mercy to understand him and another person doesn't get the mercy? What's the reason? Is there some reason why you get the mercy, or it's just like a chance or a fluke?
Of course, whom would you like most? The person go according to you or person go against you? Of course, person go according to you, would you? I'm asking you a question. Whom would you like, those who go according to you or those who go against you?
According to you, yeah.
So same thing. If you're according to Krishna, Krishna will give you special mercy. If you go against Krishna, then you won't get any mercy.
Yeah. But in the previous two verses, the formula was given. Who Krishna gives his mercy to. So let's look at here again, go back.
Yeah.
In 10:10 and 10:11.
Yeah.
It's telling us, because it's mentioning there in 10:11, to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts. Destroy with a shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Okay, so he's giving mercy here. And what is the mercy? Is that he's removing the ignorance with knowledge. So that tells us what the mercy is. That he's going to, the mercy of Krishna's mercy is that he'll remove the ignorance from our heart and with knowledge. So he's going to give us knowledge, which will remove the ignorance. But then who does he give the mercy to is in text 10. Now the criteria to get the mercy is, so it's not a fluke. It's not the roll of a dice. It's not by chance. Yes. So two criteria to get the mercy. You're serving Krishna with love, and it should be constantly.
Yeah.
Means, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. In the beginning, it's not going to be 24 hours a day. Don't worry about that. That's not what constantly means. The acharyas have explained in other places. Constantly doesn't mean 24 hours a day, but it means every day. So we want to be serving Krishna.
Like those who are gopis, like when they are even feeding their kids, they are memorizing Krishna. When they are making a yogurt, a butter, and they are remembering Krishna.
So for them, they're 24 hours. Yeah,
so
yeah. But for us in the beginning, then at least every day we're doing something. It means like we chant 16 rounds, that's 2 hours or whatever, like that. And then you offer your food, well, you're Krishna conscious, you're reading a book, like now we're doing soul searching for an hour and a half. So, some hours in the day that we're Krishna, and that's going to increase over time. That will slowly become more and more and more, but at least it's every day. But that still fits in the criteria that Krishna can be merciful to us and remove the ignorance from our heart and give us knowledge. If every day we chant 16 rounds and we're, do some reading and like that and do some preaching, and Krishna will help us like that. So this is the criteria to receive Krishna's mercy. Then by his mercy, then we can understand that Krishna's God. And we can understand that Krishna's God.
Only his mercy, the only way to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as, when you go to school as well, you have to trust the teacher.
Yeah.
Because he knows and he's teaching us. If you don't trust him, you're not going to understand anything. You have to believe him because government appoint him, or he done the study to become a teacher. You have to believe him. This is the textbook and he's teaching, and this is the equation for that. If you don't believe him, you're not going to understand nothing.
Yeah.
So it's simple as that. You have to believe that, that's the only way, and then slowly you'll understand that. It's when we go to doctor and he prescribed the medicine, we believe that he did the study and that medicine is good for that. And if you don't believe in that medicine, is not going to work. Very important thing when you go to the doctor or any Ayurveda or anything, if you're believing this medicine work, it will work. If you don't believe it, it won't work. Guarantee.
Yeah.
It's very important that. I mean, like there was back in 1942, 43, there was one doctor. It's called a Dr. Koeh in Germany. He's a German doctor. Okay. He was treating people with no medicine. No medicine at all. He said, all you got to repeat yourself, I'm getting better. Every day, 20 times, 100 times, 10,000 times a day. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And this study getting better. They are getting better. So it's all that. If you believe in medicine, gonna work.
Yeah, the mind is very powerful.
Yeah, if you don't believe in, that doctor is, I haven't heard anything there. No patient goes in there. I had a bad review. But no matter how good the medicine is, it's not gonna work. But if you believe that, I heard about this doctor, and mind is already, yes. Even if you say just drink that fenugreek water boiling in there, that water will do as a medicine. Get a guarantee.
Yes.
I know the matter. Power. Believing is a power. If you believe it, yes, Krishna will do everything for you. But believe is like a firm belief, not even a single doubt.
No doubts.
You will see faith. That definitely. That Prahlad Maharaj, he's got so firm belief, no way in the world anyone can destroy me or touch me because Krishna is with me. And Krishna did come, or Draupadi has got a very much belief that Krishna will protect me, and he did. So he's got not even a tiny doubt in the mind.
Yeah.
And that's the things.
Yeah.
And you also believe that, for the last 30 years, you're not working, but you get fed. You don't sleep hungry, do you?
No,
because
not
you believe that Krishna is the one, and then he is feeding you, and he's creating the ways around you, and then fulfill that your tummy, and then keep you going with that. Like you got a bills to pay, you got to land here, and then you got things to do. But you believe in that, and then he will show you that ways around and helping you with that. He's got many hands.
Yeah.
But
and when it works out, and you see that Krishna is maintaining me, Krishna
100%.
is protecting me,
100%.
then that increases the faith even more.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you have a little leap of faith. Let me try this, see if it works. And then when you try it, you say, well, I'm just dedicating myself to serving Krishna. Let's see if Krishna's going to look after me. And we see that Krishna does look after us. Then that builds on the faith even more. And you develop even stronger faith.
Yes.
So faith is not one thing. It starts off small, and then it builds up, builds up, builds up. As you get more confident, you see that Krishna is, fulfilling his part of the deal. He is looking after me and protecting me and everything. Then you get even stronger faith. Like Prabhupada's faith in Krishna is like a mountain.
Oh, yes.
It's unshakable.
Unshakable, that's right. Yeah. Yours is as well mountain. I can see for the last 30 years, without any doubt. That's it, You will be die one hand in the Jagannath and one hand in the Krishna's deity in your hand, and then you will be died and like that. But
we should never be overly confident also. We should realize that Maya is very powerful, Maya is strong, and we shouldn't become proud like we're talking about pride. So we shouldn't become proud thinking I'm a great devotee and I can do anything. No, we should always be very humble and pray that Krishna protect us, especially Nrsimhadev and Krishna in his form as Nrsimhadev. This is the form that devotees pray, to protect us from Maya and so many things. And then Krishna will, in the form of Nrsimhadev.
It's like Krishna was born as a baby, but Nrsimha is he just changed his body to become half lion and half men. So what do we call him? Krishna was the born little baby and he grew as you've seen that. But Nrsimha, he changed his body to be half lion and half men. What do you call him?
No, not like that. Nrsimhadev just appeared for that specific pastime. He didn't spend, like Krishna was 125 years on the earth, right?
Yeah.
Krishna was 125 years.
Yeah.
He appeared fully grown in the prison of Kamsa. And then when Devaki and Vasudeva prayed, can you blend in a bit better and look like a more normal kind of person? So then he turned into a baby, and then he was carried over by Vasudeva, carried him over the river Yamuna to Nandagaon, and then he dropped him off with Mother Yashoda and Nanda, and left him there. And then he grew. It appeared that he grew up to 16 years old. Krishna never looked older than about 16 years old, even though living for 125 years. He stopped at looking at 16. Even then, when he had grandchildren in Dwarka, and 16,108 wives, and each had 10 kids. But even as a granddad, he never looked older than about 16. But Nrsimhadeva's different scenario. He just came out of the pillar, came out of that pillar and came bursting out, did that pastime, and then that's it. That's the end of the pastime. Then like that. And you don't hear about anything more. That you don't hear about that he was a young little lion, and then you don't hear that he had grandkids or anything like that. He just came and did that pastime, and then that's it, finish, end of the pastime. Then not manifest again like that. But then that form is eternally present in the Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, yeah. Like that. And that form will also be appearing in different universes. These forms appear in different universes, performing different pastimes. And because there's unlimited universes in the material world. This is one of many. This is the smallest universe of. It's said that there's the universes. Imagine like a bag of mustard seeds, and this universe is just compared to one mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds. So when we look at the sky at night, this is just some of the one universe that we're looking. When it's a clear sky, we can see some of them. But there's unlimited universes, like a bag of mustard seeds. And the Lord is incarnations are going from one universe to another. So Nrsimhadev finishes his pastime here. He'll go to another universe and do pastimes like that. And every day of Lord Brahma, then there'll be the incarnation will come again and do different. So Nrsimhadev has been to this universe more than once. So he's coming again and again in that form. And Varaha is coming again and again. Kurma is coming again and again. Matsya is coming again and again. So every day of Lord Brahma, they'll be coming in. And sometimes their pastimes are slightly different. Like sometimes you might read another story about Nrsimhadev that's not exactly the same. And is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. It's just he came in a different day of Lord Brahma. Came in a different time. Like there's one Varaha, means boar incarnation, Varaha, that's mentioned as white color. Another one mentioned as red color. Is that a mistake or something? No, it's no mistake. They just came at a different time. So they come again and again. As you know, time goes in a cycle. from Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, then another Satya. So after so many cycles, the Lord may come again in that, like, for example, boar incarnation, do some pastime. And not only the color is different, but like it's mentioned, one time Varahadev, he just picked up the earth from that fell into the Garbhodaka ocean. He picked it up and put it back in the space. But that's all that's mentioned, that he picked it up. Another one, it's mentioned that he fought it fell, Hiranyaksha, the demon Hiranyaksha, knocked the earth out of the orbit and put it in the ocean, and Varaha came and fought with the Hiranyaksha demon and killed Hiranyaksha, and then put the earth back in the space again, back in the orbit, picked it up out of the ocean and put it back in the proper position again in the orbit, like that, fighting with Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha was the brother of Hiranyakashipu. That's why Hiranyakashipu hated Vishnu so much, because Vishnu, in the form of Varaha, killed his brother like that. So these pastimes are going on, and slightly differently, in different yugas like that. So the Lord is coming in different colors and doing different pastimes, so they're not always exactly the same like that. So this is happening in different yugas. And that's why the famous verse is there, and we can look at that in the 4th chapter. Text 6 and 7, and this is the one that most Hindus know, these verses.
Oh, yeah.
Yugai Sambhavami, Yugai Yugai. So it's saying he appears.
Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhakti bharata yutan se tadana sajanam paritranaya sadhu isha vinashaya cha dushkritam dharm sansthapayatam sam.
So yeah, text 6 says that Sambhavami.
No, it's
sorry.
8.
Text 8 says, sorry,
yeah.
Sambhavami, Yugai. So I appear millennium after millennium. So every millennium he appears. So he appears in these different forms and doing different pastimes and that. Why does he appear? Paritranaya Sadhanam, to deliver the devotees. And the beautiful example, of course, is that Nrsimhadev came to deliver Prahlad. And what else did he do? Vinashaya Chatuskudam. He killed Hiranyakashipu. It's actually really good that we've come to this point today on Nrsimha Chattadasi, because this is why he came, right? To deliver Prahlad, which is Paritranaya Sadhunam, and Vinashaya Chatuskudam, to kill Hiranyakashipu. And then also a third thing, Dharma Samstapana.
Establishing the principle.
Re-establish the Dharma. When we go off track in the Dharma, we go off track. So what is going off track in the Dharma is if we forget that we're a servant of God. This is Dharma Samstapanataya. That we've gone off the path of Dharma, when we've forgotten that we're a soul, that we're a servant of God, when we're no longer people are serving God. This is like mentioned in the text 7. Yada idamasya glanir bhavati bharata. So this is glani, means discrepancy. So it means the discrepancy means going off track from the Dharma. When we've forgotten the Dharma and doing the adharma, abhutanama adharmasya, that's when he comes. So yeah, when we go off track, when we forget the Dharma and we do the adharma, like meat eating, intoxication, lust, sex, and gambling, is adharma.
That apply in Iran and America.
Everywhere, everyone. We're just absorbed in, this is mine and I want more, and, so greedy, and this is just fighting all the time and always proud. This is my land, of America is mine and Iran is mine, and, and no, I want your one and everything. This is all a dharma. And you're forgetting the real dharma, which is that we should just serve God, that we're all servants of God. And like it says in the beginning of the Ishopanishad, which we talked with Narendra on Saturdays before, that the beginning is Ishavasya idam sarvam. That's the beginning of Ishopanishad. That everything belongs to God, not to me or you. It's not mine or yours. It's all God's. Everything belongs to God. And God is giving everyone a quota of his property. And I don't have a right, that's what it says there in the beginning, to take another person's quota. God gives a quota of his property to all of his parts and parcels, all of us, and I don't have a right to take your quota, which is set aside by God for you. God gives a part of his property to everyone for their maintenance, so no one has a right to take another person's quota of their property. And that's God's law. So anytime that God's law is broken, that's when he'll come. Purutranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskatam. Like that. And that brings us to the section in 4th chapter, if we look a bit earlier, about the disciplic succession, which is also mentioned in this purport that you just read, that in the very beginning, first one, and then the second one. So you can read text 1 and 2.
Which one are you talking about?
This 4th chapter, text 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
So we just looked at 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So this is 1 and 2 now.
The personality of God and Lord Krishna said, I instructed the imperishable science of the yoga to the sun god, Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instruction to the Manu, father of mankind, and the Manu in turn into Ishkvaku.
Ikshvaku, yeah. So this is how the knowledge is passed down. Krishna spoke it to the sun god, and the sun god spoke it to his son, who was Manu. So Manu was the son of the sun god. The name of the Manu is actually Vaivashvata Manu. Vaivashvata means the son of Vivashvan. That's why it's the name Vaivashvata Manu, and it's going to mention in the purport. So why he has the name Vaivashvata is because he's the son of Vivashvan. The son of Vivashvan is called Vaivashvata. And the son of Manu, his name was Ikshvaku. So this is the disciplic succession. Krishna gave the knowledge to the sun god gave it to his son, and his son gave it to his son, like that. So it's passed down. But of course, it doesn't have to be father to son. That's not essential. It can be, not related family-wise. Not related. It can be, like Prabhupada was not related to my guru, and my guru is not related to me family-wise. We're not fathers and sons. So it can be that way, father and son, or it might not be. So that doesn't matter. But the main thing that matters is the knowledge is given. The knowledge is passed down. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the father of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So, the devotee father passed on the knowledge to his devotee son. So sometimes it works like that. Prabhupada said, I learned everything from my father that I learned from my guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. I learned everything from my father already, what I learned from my guru later, except for one thing. Well, the one thing he learned from his guru that he didn't learn from his father was about the importance of printing books. So his father never talked to him about printing books, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati emphasized the importance of distributing the knowledge through printing books. And we see that. That's why we have so many books. Prabhupada learnt that from his guru about how effective to preach Krishna consciousness through printing books. Okay, so then you can read the text too.
Yeah.
And we can finish with that.
The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciple succession, and the saintly king understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appeared to be lost.
So this is the knowledge is received through this disciplic session, like mentioned in text 1. And then, but what happens, this is the power of time. The time factor can take away all the knowledge. So this is what time does. Time, as you know, takes away our life. You know, like Prabhupada is gone. Before him, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gone, like that. Then so many devotees every day now, proper disciples are leaving every day. And then, but also not only our lifespan is gone, but also our knowledge is gone. You know, we forget. Like, why do we need to write things down? Because we forget.
Yeah.
You know? And so many things are taken away by time. So that's why again and again Krishna comes. Again and again and again and again the devotees come. Again and again to remind us like that. Like we read that verse, right? That Arjuna is saying, I've regained my memory. Why did he say I've regained my memory? Because he forgot.
He forgot. Yeah.
Now he's remembered. You know, yesterday we forgot, today we're remembering. And probably tomorrow we forget again, so we need to remember again. That's why why do we do the soul searching session every week? Because we forgot last week we learned,
it's like
so we need to remember again.
If the room you live in there, you have to clean every day.
Yeah.
Every day you have to clean because the dirt will come.
Yeah.
You leave it 2-3 days, dirt will there. But every day
Yeah.
you have to clean the room.
Yeah. So that's just the nature of the material world.
Yeah, it is.
That ignorance is there, and dirtiness is there, all these things are there, destruction is there. So this is just the nature of the world like that. Yeah. In the spiritual world, this problem is not there. Just we are eternally in love with God like that. Yeah. And there's no forgetfulness, there's no Maya. It says in the spiritual world, the gopis, they are cleaning all the houses, even though there's no dirt. But still, they like to do some service for God, for Krishna. So they just enjoy cleaning, but there's no dirt. And there's no ignorance there. Like that. But the material world, so much ignorance. We have to keep getting the knowledge again and again and again. And the time factor and because in the spiritual there's no time factor. There's no old age, there's no disease, there's no death, there's no ignorance like that. But here in the material world with the time factor, that's what time is doing. Time taking away our lifespan, taking away our knowledge, taking away so many things, you know. So it's a battle. It's a battle. We have to keep bringing back the knowledge again like that. And we don't have to worry about taking the lifespan away, because for us, for a devotee, when a devotee dies, well, we go back to Godhead. So we're not afraid. We're not afraid of time, because materialistic people, thinking they're the body, very afraid of old age and disease and death. Yeah, but a devotee's not afraid, you know, like that. Agni Dev, who just...
I go to Kulvinder, 7-Eleven. Sometimes, if I'm driving around there, I just go there and take some lassi and drink some lassi. And then whenever I go there, I talk about, spirituality and then things like that. And then old age and disease and death. He said, don't talk about the death. I said,
yeah.
I said, your father died? He said, yeah. I said, my father died. So it's like one day you and me will be in the box as well. He said, but talk anything, but don't talk about the death, please. I said, why are you scared? You're going to go one night, you sleep, and next morning, it's not going to be morning. You'll be a different world. And that's the truth. You see your grandparents, my grandparents, great-grandparents, so all they are. That's the journey. If you want to enjoy the early morning sun, you have to go through the night. There's no other way, isn't it? If you want to see the sunrise, you have to go through the night. So one night and next morning you'll be born somewhere else and according to your karma and then start playing or something like that. That's the cycle. So and then he just like and he said, I believe in the Bhagavad Gita, I believe in the Krishna and all these things. You're not talking about that. I said, okay, do you believe in Bhagavad Gita? He said, yeah. And he's sure that he's a Krishna's daughter there. He said, I just believe in that. I believe in Bhagavad Gita. I say in Bhagavad Gita, I said, it says, Pushpam Patram Phalam Toyam. 4 things you have to offer and then I be receive that. Do you eat meat? He said, yes. Do you drink? He said, yes. He said, well, then you don't believe in Bhagavad Gita then. Because he said 4 things. Pushpam Patram Phalam Toyam. Where is written there chicken? Where is written there alcohol? I mean, it's either you do. He said, "Oh, some part. I believe in Bhagavad Gita, but not all." I say, so you pick and choose with your own convenient. So thank you very much. But I say either you did you tell your father, oh, you're my half a father, or quarter, or 3/4? No, he's your father. Krishna is your father. That's it. Or your father, where you born, he's your father. You can't say that. Oh, you're my 80% father.
Yeah.
What sort of things is that? Either you believe or you don't believe.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Anyway.
Fully obedient. Yeah.
Well, anyway, sometimes.
But yeah, this is that's the thing, because like I say, we have doubts. Is Krishna really my father? So until am I really Krishna's servant? So slowly, the idea is with more and more knowledge, and that's Krishna's mercy giving us this knowledge, that these doubts are taken away. And when the penny drops, we call it, there's a saying, when the penny drops, means when you really understand, then you're really like a light bulb comes on in your head. Yes, Krishna is my master.
I am stand up with the hair gonna stand up, goosebump and everything. Yes.
And Prabhupada said that point when the penny drops and you really understand, it can happen in one moment.
Yes.
Or not in millions of lifetimes.
True.
That's up to us.
Yes.
It's up to us. When we just accept the fact that Krishna's master and I'm his servant.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. This is called free choice. Some people don't like it. But free choice has to be there. Krishna's made us inbuilt with free choice. Because if we want love, which is what Krishna wants us to love him, that has to be freely given from us. If love is the only thing you can't force. You can force you to pay taxes, force you to go to work, but you can't force love. Because that's not real love if you force it.
No, it's a contract.
Love me or I'll shoot you. What kind of you're not going to enjoy that kind of love.
Definitely not.
So that has to be free choice.
Yes.
Whether we serve Krishna or not. Serve Maya, serve Krishna. Serve, we must serve, because the nature of the soul, we're made to give service. That's our dharma. Our dharma of the soul is to give service. But you can choose what you want to serve. You want to serve Krishna or you want to serve the Maya. Because then you're serving Maya means what does that mean? You're servant of lust, servant of greed, servant of anger, servant of envy, servant of pride, whatever. Servant of, like Prabhupada said, you serve God, G-O-D, or serve dog, D-O-G. G-O-D and D-O-G is just reverse.
Yeah.
So this is the choices. You serve God, or if you don't want to serve God, you serve dog. And Prabhupada say, you have to take the dog for a walk and pick up the poop and like that, servant of dog, like that. So this is free choice. And that's beautiful for us, we understand, because that we voluntarily choose to serve Krishna. That's special. That means it's very special. That relationship is very special. We've chosen that. No one's forcing us. Okay, lovely that we could get together on this special day of Narasimha Chaturdashi.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Take care.